where we are celebrating the International Year of Millets 2023. As Ufaiza just mentioned, India had taken the initiative with the United Nations to declare 2023 as the Year of Millets, and 70 countries have supported the proposal. The basic objective of the International Year of Millets is to bring back the traditional awareness about millets, which were an essential staple of our diet for many decades. Most of the traditional societies in Africa, Asia, Central Asia, and Latin America consumed millets on a regular basis. However, in the last few decades, the commercialized production of wheat and rice has replaced many of the millets. I think those of us who are from India have grown up having jawar and bajra ki roti, or many from the south have had ragi. But for some of us, it may have been several years since we have had this, because now we are having more of basmati rice and wheat. Now, to popularize millets, the government of India has launched many new schemes. There is a Millet Startup Innovation Challenge, there is a Millets Quiz, there is a logo and slogan contest. Very importantly, many Indian startups and companies have launched a whole range of products around millets, and I myself have been very pleasantly surprised to see, because we were not used to it. We only thought that you can make rotis from jawar and bajra. But as you can see over here today, there are many products. I just saw some millet noodles. We saw millet-based dosa mix. We've seen millet-based cookies, millet-based chips, and other snacks. So the idea is that you consume millets maybe twice or thrice a week in different forms. So it doesn't just have to be rotis, but also in different forms. The government and various organizations have also tried to popularize it by coming out with many recipes, and including ragi ka laddu. Just a few days back, I met some people from India, and they said that under the midday meal scheme, the ragi laddus are being provided to the school children, and this is very, very nutritious. Now, some of the most popular millets are ragi, which is finger millet, jawar, which is sorghum and which is grown very much in Egypt, sama, little millet, and bajra, pearl millet. And you can see here today that many of the millets, the grain is also on display, and so is the flour. Now, millets have also been consumed for thousands of years in India. Traces and evidence of this has been found in the Indus Valley civilization, and it has also been used on a fairly widespread basis in Egypt. Now, why are millets useful? Why are they important? Firstly, from the environmental viewpoint, the millets are very useful because they can be grown in semi-arid areas. The millets do not require so much of water, and there are large areas in Egypt and also in India where either the cultivation may not take place because the water is limited, but this is where the millets can be grown. So this can help to provide more food security for the farmers, not just in India but in developing countries. Now, very importantly, millets are in many ways a super food, like the quinoa. Millets have very high protein content. They also have a low glycemic index, which can be very useful for those who have diabetes or who have a tendency to develop diabetes. Millets are also gluten free. They are nutraceutical and they have a high fiber content. They can also help to generate the gut bacteria. And today increasingly there is awareness that if you have good gut health, then your well-being is better. Millets also have a high source of mineral content like iron, zinc and calcium. As you can see, the millet-based products are easy to cook, and because we are coming out with some ready-to-make mixes through ready-to-make dosas and idlis, they can be consumed easily. Millets are also used to add protein and value for fodder, but we are more actively promoting millets for human consumption. Now, as I mentioned, millets have been a traditional food in Africa and Asia. Millets are grown in most countries, about 131 countries, and have been the traditional food for nearly 600 million people in Asia and Africa. India produces 40% of the millets in the world, with much of the remaining millets being cultivated in Africa. I would like to once again emphasize and urge all of you to try and start trying to have millet-based meals, maybe a few times a week. Once you acquire the taste, you can increase it. And in fact, there are people whom I know closely, including relatives, who have said that when they switched over to having, say, jawar or bajra rotis, their health improved dramatically. So please do give it a try. And let me thank all of you for coming once again and joining the Embassy of India and Lulu's in celebrating the International Year of Millets. Thank you.